as they were standing. All the lads and lasses there, all with smiling faces, gathered along the Scotswood Road to see the bleeding races. We went to bleeding races.
Oh, it's back through Bartes!
1862 on a summer's afternoon, we took the bus from Bournemouth and she was heavy laden. Where we went along Collinwood Street, that's on the road to Bladen. Whoa, me lads, you should have seen us gunning, passing the folks along the road just as they were standing. All the lads and lasses there, all with smiling faces, gathering along the Scotswood Road to see the bleeding races.
Hi people, welcome back to another video. John Sinclair TV back again tonight. It's Fans Forum evening. I've got Tony, I've got Mason, and I've got Chip Az. So I'm giving to you lads. Are you okay?
I'm good.
All right, John. All right, Chip Az. All right, Mason.
Fantastic stuff, fantastic. Guys, if you like the video and you like what you see, then please hit the like button. When you comment, you can comment for a like, leave a like, please. That'd be amazing. And also, if you hit the subscribe button if you are new. And if you like to super chat, then click on the $sign and give what the channel is worth. And also, if you like to become a member, the link is above the chat as well. Click on that and you can member 99p if you use your Android and also your laptop as well. If you can do it, the links are up there as well. I've got even to Lewis, by the way. I hope you hear me. I've got Jack. Hi to Jack. Hi to Pablo. And the panel, if Wilson's fit this weekend, would you start or keep Isak up front? For me personally, I would play Wilson against Fulham. I wouldn't play him in this game because I still don't think he's right. So that's just my opinion. Hi to Lou again. And what's your opinion? What's your opinion of the disgraceful show made by Celtic fans in Poland? Even former IRA members were respectful yesterday. So this disgusting parade should be punished by UEFA, in my opinion. I'm a Celtic fan. If that is true, I think that's absolutely shocking, in my opinion. We're going to start with that, Tony, right?
Yeah.
The fans are booing, right? The Queen as well on the minutes of the minutes silence, whatever you want to call it, right? I'm sorry about that, but I think it's shocking. The fans are booing during before the game. For me personally, you got to respect, but I hate to say this, right, but there's a lot of things going on and it's just shocking, absolutely shocking during the national anthem.
Yeah, well, I've not seen what's happened in Poland, John, so I can't really comment on that one. I have listened back to the Liverpool thing today that was on Sky Sports, and the jeering during that minute set. Well, in fact, it didn't even go on for a minute. It went on for 30 seconds, and the referee called it a day and started the game because what was the point? They were just shouting through it. Absolutely disrespectful from them Liverpool fans. They should be ashamed of themselves and want to hang their heads in shame. I mean, They did this in the FA Cup final. They booed the national anthem. What is wrong with Liverpool? Do they really want to lose a lot more friends around the world? Because I'll tell you now, they're going to lose a lot of respect from a lot of people. And, you know, and let's just say, as me and Macy both said last night, those Liverpool fans won't be cheering on Monday. They'll be sitting there drinking or getting drunk or whatever, loving that they've got a bank holiday off. You know, and the thing is, it's a disgrace. That's how they're feeling, because if you're not a royalist, I mean, I ain't a royalist, but at least I show respect to the Queen. And I mean, they should show respect. If you're going to go to the match to do that, don't bother going. And also, if the individuals are caught, they should be banned from attending football matches. I'm sorry, but they should be. Maybe not for life, but maybe just give them a temporary ban, just to, you know, say you can't do this. I mean, absolutely disgraceful. And just the amount of shouting you could hear was just so wrong. And also, I'm going to, you know, in case anybody hasn't seen last night, sure, I'm also going to reiterate what about UEFA as well. I'm going to call UEFA out as a disgrace as an organisation, because they are saying in the Champions League games we are not allowed to play the national anthem. How dare they? How dare they say we can't play the national anthem? I'm sorry. At the end of the day, it's got nothing to do with politics. Our Queen of 70 years who has been on the throne for a hell of a long time, since 1952, has done a lot for this country. She sadly passed away last week at the age of 96.
Got it.
And at the end of the day, we should be able to play our national anthem, sing it with pride, and show respect towards our monarch who has just passed, who isn't even laid to rest yet, by the way. And the thing is, UEFA should be hammered over this. And I do hope people do hammer UEFA over this, not in a nasty way, but just send messages to them and say, look, this is wrong, not doing this, because how we, we're doing it in the Premier League at the weekend. We're going to have a minute's silence. We're going to have the national anthem. We're going to have an applause on 70 minutes for the 70 years of the Queen. Now, I just watched my local news there tonight, and obviously I live in Suffolk, so Ipswich Town was on tonight in the show from last night. The silence at Ipswich Town was an amazing tribute for the Queen. They were silent. They all sang the national anthem from the whole stadium, and everything was shown like rest in peace, Her Majesty, and all this. They're a credit to League One for that, and and like I say, John, I just think it's absolutely disgraceful. People who want to go out their way to actually spoil any 1 minute silence for somebody who's done our country proud for the last 70 years.
I think that's shocking, man. Absolutely shocking. Tony, you're absolutely right, man. Football has a bad record on keeping them minutes of silences, which is why they changed it to a minute's applause. And here as well, majority of Liverpool fans do respect the silence. The Celtic fans, to a man, booed and had balance, sympathised with Michael Feargan and looking Patterson do that on this loss. Well, I'm a Celtic fan. I'm just embarrassed to be a Celtic fan. Embarrassed. Not allowed it in any country of Champions League. No matter who has died, there's been others in past, and they couldn't do it. That's a fair shout there, mate. Absolutely fair shout. Chippers, you got a lot to say about that, I'm sure.
2 seconds, John. I just think it's a bit disrespectful, and why do I have to boo? It's for 1 minute. It's not as if people are asking for much. The stupid thing is, after the minute, they were quiet for 89 minutes because they weren't going to win, well, until they did their Man United trick and score in the last minute again. It's ridiculous, and the sad thing is UEFA will do now, because Liverpool get away with it all the time, don't they? They always play the blame card, so they're always the ones that people expect to feel sorry for when, in fairness and the little things, they should be taking responsibility for their own actions. But they always do this. Why? It's for 1 minute it's 1 minute of their time just to say nothing. I mean, they managed to do an applause for Ronaldo for what happened, which was great. But they should have done nothing. They were told to do it, like, have a minute respect, and they couldn't even do it. Same with Celtic fans. I'm sorry, but just because you're like Catholics and the Queen's a Protestant, it makes any difference to me. Just do it for 1 minute. It's 1 minute, and then you don't have to even think about it after that. It's just ridiculous. But they'll get away with it. They'll get away with it because always these clubs get away with everything. So if it was Newcastle doing it, we would have had our stadium ban and we would have had fines already, and But because it's these clubs, they get away with it. So it's just ridiculous.
Absolutely agree. I think it's an absolute disgrace. Shocking. I've got Pablo as well. Liverpool will be the new Man United and most hated team and fans in the UK. I've got to say, Liverpool will be the most hated club and fans in the UK. Mason, thanks for coming on, man. What's your take on it, please?
Obviously, I've been in Yorkshire for the past night, and for what I seen last night when I came back from where I was, I think it was embarrassing, especially Liverpool. Obviously, from a Welsh perspective, because I am half Welsh, you've seen it. Wrexham, they were booing when they were playing Dagenham and Redbridge last night. And to be fair, I'm basically embarrassed to be a country what's been a part of my life, to see fans booing who are like the same kind of people to me, like I think it's in Boston, because they were booing last night. I don't know if Cardiff or Swansea did, but to be fair, Wrexham, Liverpool, and then Celtic have just been Boston for what's been happening.
Shocking, mate. It's absolutely shocking, man. And you know what it is, right? I have to go with Chippers. It's only 1 minute, just 1 minute, just in silence. 1 minute or clap 1 minute. After that, that is it. But unfortunately, right, again, some people aren't invested at all whatsoever in the national silence, in the national anthem as well, and silence, whatever that sort of thing. It's a shocking. It's really a shocking. And I hope now that the FA, UEFA, sort that out very, very quickly. Otherwise, it's not going to change at all whatsoever. It is absolutely shocking. And I have a picture of a lovely tribute they did at Neat. Well done to you, Lou. And Hugh is talking to Lewis. Rangers fans show love and respect, put a tear in the eye. Even the Rangers fans are showing big up to them, by the way. To have been quiet sort of thing during the national minutes applause, by the way. Yeah, so Tony, what needs to be done about it, mate? What needs to be done about it?
Well, I don't know what they'll do about it, John. You know, it's just, you know, it's a minority. It's okay. It's not the majority of Liverpool fans. It's a minority of the crowd. But you know, it's what do they do about it? I mean, do the football authorities just say, right, okay, maybe like say the FA Cup final where the Liverpool fans booed through the national anthem? Should that be a thing, right? Okay, if that happens, then maybe they should play 1 or 2 games behind closed doors. And that might then send a message out that do not do this. You know, I mean, why should you go and boo a national anthem for? It's your own country. And that's what I can't understand. You're in your own country. I mean, there's places abroad. If you went abroad there and booed their national anthem, you'd probably get arrested and thrown in jail. In some places, you know, it's just beggars belief. I just don't understand it. And I don't know what the authorities could do, to be honest, John. But I don't know.
Sad, man. This is absolutely sad. But oh my God, whoever booed the national anthem last night, shame on you. That's all I'm going to say. You know you are. Shame on you. And Rangers actually sang the national anthem, but UEFA said they shouldn't do it, but they bloody did it. Do you know what it is, right? UEFA needs to take the part of it, the blame as well, sort of thing. They should understand what's going on with the Queen. We should do it. Do you know what I mean? It's a one-off. What's the matter, man? Just a one-off. What's the matter? It's a joke. I think UEFA, some are absolute pansies, man. They really, really are. Do you know what I mean?
I know they keep saying, John, about like having a national anthem. It's because they're saying it's to do with politics. Well, I'm sorry. You know, the thing is, though, John, right? It makes me laugh that on about politics and sport. And yet the media, about our owners, always bring politics into it. So what's the difference? I'll tell you the difference, because it's Newcastle United. That's the difference, John. And they're bloody frightened of us. That's why. And they always will be.
I agree. Absolutely. And one of these days, that time will come. Honestly, it will. I hope we smash Liverpool in February at St. James's Park. I want to be there and make sure it happens, by the way. Do you know what I mean? So,
by the way,
go on, Tony.
Yeah. We're all Redden supporters tonight, aren't we? Because they're playing Sunderland. Let's hope Jeff Hendrick knocks a 30-yarder in.
Let's hope so. Let's hope that is the flipping case. Got one here from Lewis. I wish I could have my say because I'm not good at spelling. I just know about the fool that speak. Sometimes it does come up properly. Lewis, don't worry about it, man. We understand what you're saying, mate. I want to talk about the fixtures as well. I mean, there's been 2 fixture changes. Game between Newcastle against Spurs, Wild Lane. That's been put back to a Sunday. And also the game against Southampton as well. That's also been pushed back to a Sunday as well. I mean, I had my say on it, right? And I tell you what, right? I mean, again, Sam, Newcastle fans, are getting shortchanged yet again on the days. How on earth, right, you expect our fans to travel on a Sunday afternoon to these games, right, but you got to work the next day, traveling miles away? Are they doing this deliberately because of the takeover, or are they just kicking us in the teeth yet again?
Yeah, it's obvious they're doing it because it's us. Any of that team doesn't seem to affect them. It doesn't seem to happen to them. So, we'll give it to Newcastle. We'll give them the longest trips on the days that really, we shouldn't be getting them. And it's ridiculous. I mean, I've seen someone on social media do price up the flight for Southampton on the match day, and it's £250 for there and back. So that would be going at 8 o'clock on the morning on the Sunday, and then coming back at 9 o'clock at night. £300 for that. It's ridiculous. It's just why they can't just have it at 3 o'clock on a Saturday like it usually is. Because no offense, us in Southampton isn't really a big game, is it? It's not really. I mean, it's not really a game. I mean, we'll say it's a big game, but it's not really a game that you think we'll put on the telly. That's no disrespect to Southampton either. I mean, I just think it's just because it's us yet again, and it's an absolute joke. I mean, it's like this weekend how Palace and bloody Brighton are off. How are they off? They're literally 30 mile away from each other. It's like going from here to Sunderland. It's like they're not that. Like, there's supposed to be a derby game and they've been abandoned because of real strikes. Yeah, Bournemouth have got to come up here. Their longest trip of the season up here.
The strikes are off.
Oh, they're off now, are they?
No, they cancelled it because of the Queen.
Oh, and the game's still on though, isn't it? The game's still off though, so it's like, well, you know what I mean? It's absolutely ridiculous. Again, it's just us getting shafted. I mean, we had to go to Brighton when there were strikes on up here, and we still ended up having to go, and nothing was cancelled on out. So, again, it's just shafted up the arse, isn't it? For Newcastle fans, and I mean, yeah, we'll sell out, but people will get put off by it because it's in when is it, October?
Yeah,
it's in October. It's 2 months from Christmas. Obviously, with the cost of living going up and everything, people are going to literally. There's going to be times where there's going to be no away fans at games because it's going to be too expensive for them. I mean, we'll be quite lucky because we're such a good fan base that we still have 3,000 every week, no matter where we go. We'll have 3,000 away fans, or the general allocation will be sold out. But we'll get to a stage where you just get the feeling that clubs that aren't like well supported will have away games where they might have no fans because it's too expensive. I mean, look at Palace the other week up here. They must have had 500 if that, and it could easily be a case of next season they might have no fans. They might only have 100 fans come up. Fulham, when they come up this season, they're not well supported. They might only have 100 or so fans come up. It's getting ridiculous, but yet again, it's just because Newcastle United, isn't it? It's just shaft them, and the sad thing is that it's because our fans, we're so well supported that's why we probably get shafted, because we'll always sell out. We'll always sell our allocation. It could well be a stage of fans may do a protest one time and they don't go, and we've got no away fans there. That's not through our fault. That's just for protest the kick-off times and things like that. And I just think, why can't they just leave 3 o'clock? Why can't it still be 3 o'clock? I mean, the 2 games, it's a Sunday afternoon in London as well at 4:30. I mean, there's only, I think on a night time, there's only one flight back from London, and that's it. I think it's 9 o'clock. So even by the time you get out of the game at 6:15, you've got to get yourself to Heathrow and everything, and you might not even make it. So you're going to have to possibly get the late train back or book on the early morning flight next morning on the Monday morning when you're supposed to be at work. So it's just wrong, and I'm sick of it. I mean, I can't go to away games at the minute because I work quite. I'm only doing 60 weeks at the minute, so it's where I get a day off. Never mind anything else. But it really is just, it stinks. It really stinks, and the Premier League are against us anyway. So that's just my say on it. I just think it's an absolute joke.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there, Sam, 100%. So Chris Banks said, UEFA should be told to go forth and multiply. Yeah, probably right, mate. Yeah, I totally agree. It's always us because it's always on a Sunday when we have to go to work the next team bloody TV rights, Aston Lewis. Yeah, and it's probably cheaper to fly to France, to fly back to Bournemouth. Quite probably. I absolutely agree with you, man. Totally agree. Mason, what's your take on it, man, about the fixtures, changing fixtures again? Newcastle got to go to Tottenham on October the 20, I think it's October the 23rd, and the next month they got to go to Southampton on the Sunday, November.
For me, embarrassing. Embarrassing by the league. Just why? Why would you want to put Southampton early kick-off on a Sunday where people might have booked like train tickets, hotel tickets for the original game on Saturday 3:00, but now they're going to have to change it, which is going to cost more money to obviously Tottenham and Southampton. So Tottenham's not that bad because it's direct train from Central Station to London and then back. But Southampton, you've got it's probably more money because you've got to change it a certain station. It's going to take longer compared to when you go to London. But why do they have to do it on a Sunday where there's going to be limited train services? Obviously, I think it's just embarrassing by the Premier League again.
Shocking, man. It's absolutely shocking. I mean, it's such a second team. Everyone knows that, but I'm just embarrassed to be a Celtic fan. Really, really am. And whoever booed them, shame on you.
John, I thought Man U was your second team. Is Celtic not your third team?
John the Red. John,
go on.
I'll just share this picture. I've just seen the picture. This is Celtic fans, and I'll hope now, because you follow Celtic as your second team, I'll hope you'll condemn them now, John, because here it goes. You see that now on screen?
I can. It's coming up right now.
Shocking.
Yeah, you're right.
Disgraceful.
Shocking. Yeah, I totally agree there. Absolutely embarrassed.
I hope they get done for that.
Embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing, man. I'll probably get sick for it now, but I am going to say, because I says that how it is, sort of thing. Yeah, embarrassing. And thanks for that, Paul, by the way. Yeah, you're absolutely right, mate. Can you please get the other people on your channel, mate? It's these three dummies doing swits. Well, Daniel, if you want to come on the show, mate, right, on the fans forum, let us know, and I'll send a link, and you can come and have your say it. But
does he watch this show every week? Because it's all of it, we're all on every week. What's his problem? If he's got a problem, why is he watching it? The flipping idiot.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I'll leave that one to the viewers as well, and that their sort of thing, man. But hey, if you want to comment down, you're always welcome to have your say, and the show's open. Send us a DM, and I'll send a link, mate. Let's go on to Lewis 13 Blackburn Rovers. But Tony, I haven't spoken to you, mate, about your take on it as well, mate, on the fixtures, man.
As I said last night, John, it's just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, Southampton at 2:00 on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
To get down there, John, you're going to have to leave St James's around about 4:00 in the morning to get there. Probably earlier than that, in fact, probably about 3:00. It's probably about a good 9-hour drive to Southampton. It's just ridiculous. It's a long, and not only that, people have got work the next day. So by the time the match finishes, so you're talking 4:15. But add on the injury time, so you're probably talking more 10 to 5, 10 to 4. Sorry. So by the time you get out the ground, and get on your coaches and everything, I'd do that hour to that easily, because I've been to away games when I've gone on the fans' coaches, and it's well over an hour before you're actually leaving that ground. So after you've come out the ground, because not only that, it's like the coaches are waiting for fans to get onto the coach. Some fans go off and have a pint somewhere before they get on the coach, or they wander off and talk to other people, and then, you know, they lose track of time. So say, for instance, that coach doesn't leave till 5 o'clock. That ain't going to get back to Newcastle till the early hours of the morning. On a good run, that's bearing in mind there's no incidents on any of the motorways on the way back either. So I just think it's absolutely mindless, and I just don't know where they've got their ideas from on that one. You know, it's I just don't get it with the Premier League why they've done this. Well, actually, it's not the Premier League. It's the broadcaster Sky, because they're choosing the matches. But, you know, I agree with Sam 100% with Sam. The thing is, though, Southampton, it's not really a huge game. If we were playing, say, Liverpool, City, you know, Chelsea, one of those teams, then okay, you think, oh yeah, that is a big game. But Southampton, that could have been a 3 o'clock kickoff on a Saturday afternoon. You know, I can see where they're coming from, wanting to televise it, but to me, it's just absolute ridiculous. It's absolutely stupidity in my eyes. And then with the Tottenham one, I think the Tottenham one's a 4:30 kickoff, if I'm right. Again, the thing is, so you've got to get from Tottenham back into London to get the train from King's Cross. So to get the train from King's Cross, it's just absolute madness, John. It really is. And I mean, at 4:30, by the time that game finishes, you're looking at like 6:15 at least. But then you've got to get out of the ground with all the crowds. Now, I think the last train to Newcastle, I think, is about 9 o'clock from King's Cross on a Sunday evening. So if you miss them trains, you're stuffed basically, because you ain't going to get home. And it's, you know, again, it's just, if it'd been, say, 2 o'clock in the afternoon kickoff, it might not have been so bad, because you've got that time to get trains and get home. Because the majority of fans will travel down by train, as it's only a 3-hour journey. With a coach, you're looking at about 6 hours, you know. But no, I just think it's absolutely crazy. I mean, you know, I mean, I've been in the middle of it where, you know, me and my daughter went to, we're going down to Birmingham City, 2009-10 season, and we were on the train to Birmingham. There was loads of Newcastle fans on that train, and I think we got to Sheffield, or we were coming into Sheffield, and the train announcer said, "Oh, to the Newcastle fans, just let you know that the game with Birmingham is now being cancelled due to the heavy snow, and we were going into Sheffield." Now, I said to the guy on the train, the guard, I said, "Oh, can I go off at Sheffield and just get a train back to Newcastle?" And I said, "Will that be all right?" And he went, No, because your ticket's Birmingham, you have to go all the way to Birmingham and then travel all the way back from Birmingham." And I just was not happy at all with that. And then the rearranged fixture was actually on my birthday, and we went down by coach, and I didn't get home till like 2:30 in the morning.
That's ridiculous, man. Absolutely ridiculous. All the way from Birmingham, and then straight from Birmingham to Newcastle. Gee whiz, that is shocking. Absolutely shocking. Yeah. I mean,
there was like the amount of fans that got off that train. I mean, you know, John, there was hundreds of us got off that train. And the thing is, we all clambered up to the terminal, up to the main part, to go and check the boat to see where the train for Newcastle was going back. And then you had to scramble to get on there and get a seat, because it was just like mad. I don't know why we couldn't have gone off at Sheffield and gone back home. It was only about just over an hour from Newcastle.
Yeah.
Instead, had to travel all the way to Birmingham and travel 3 hours back. It was just absolutely horrendous.
Yeah, it's sad, isn't it, man? It's absolutely sad, that. And you just can't win, can you? Cannot win. But my opinion for this, I think it's disgraceful. I mean, again, Newcastle fans getting kicked in the teeth yet again. They got no care in the world about us fans at all whatsoever. All they think about is money, money, money all the time. Yeah, it would have been better off on the Saturday afternoon, to be personally honest with you. But unfortunately, again, it's a Sunday afternoon. They're doing this. They are kicking the Newcastle fans in the teeth again. And that is where we travel to Wolves on a Sunday. Then we're going to go to Tottenham on Sunday and Southampton on the Sunday. And this can't happen, man. It is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But here we go. We got one from who? Celtics always been at Andrew Maliki. They don't flag in and flag outside the ground, but they do the Irish tricolour, despite them being in the UK. And Lewis, I have to have a look at that, mate. I picked this about Celtic do over deal along with Hibs. They are IR supporting fans. And we already play Southampton the first Sunday. Is it the first Sunday in November? And yeah, thanks for that, Tony, mate. Have a look at that one as well. Yeah, so for me, I think it's ridiculous, man. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's been quite chippers in the football front for Newcastle, but actually, just looking at the reports, right, that according to Bain Sports Australia, right, that we've won the race to sign this Australian young kid, 17-year-old, if I pronounce his name right, Garang Cool. And he's going to join us in January on a 4-year contract, but he's going to be loaned out.
You lost us a bit there because I haven't heard of him. I'm not. I mean, there might be better people qualified to talk about him, but I don't really know of him. All I know is that if we're going for him now, we must be really highly thought of because we don't sign duffs anymore. We don't sign bad players. We sign players who will only improve us either now or in the future. And he's only 17 and he's in is he in Australia? All I know is that he's in that. I seen Paul's video earlier. He's in the Australian first team squad, though, apparently, isn't he, for his age? So, you know, and it's good money for somebody who's 17-year-old. So he's obviously got the potential. And I mean, you know, he's obviously could be out his whole career if things go okay. So yeah, let's just wait and see. Like I said, I don't know much about him, so just gotta wait and see.
And the claim on top Magpies is saying, oh, he's a great player. We watch on YouTube. He's skillful. He's got goals. You know what I mean? But Tony, I don't watch the Australian League. I really don't watch the Australian League. You don't. None of us know anything about this guy. Chipper's correct. Tony, do you know about? I don't think you know anything about this guy.
No, John. I mean, no. Yeah, not being funny on a Saturday when you know it's on and around about 7 a.m., 8 a.m. in the morning on BT Sport, Australian League, and on a Saturday, how many people are up at that time in the morning to specifically? Oh, let's get up and watch the A League in Australia. I mean, I found some stats on this guy. He's an 18-year-old Egyptian, so he's Egyptian. Let me just share it on screen,
sure.
And then. Right, there we go. Can you see that now?
I can do.
Yeah, so he's an 18-year-old Egyptian, 5'9", right-footed. So this is last season, 21-22 season. He started 9 games, scored 4 goals in 9 games. He only played 22 minutes per game, though.
Yeah.
But bearing in mind, this is the Australian League that he scored 4 goals in 9 games in, and he got 1 assist as well. He didn't miss any big chances. But bearing in mind, this is going to be a guy for the future. He's not for the now, he's for the future. Passing, big chances created. He created 2 of them. He's accurate per game is 65%. Accuracy in his own half 90%. Accuracy in the opposition half 40%. Accuracy along balls is 40%. So he's not bad. Chip passes are 50%. His crosses are a little bit of a letdown at 25%. Bearing in mind, this lad's only a youngster, so he's got time to grow. You know, and no errors have led to goals, or he's never committed any penalties. So, and he's only had 1 yellow card. So that's all we really know about him. His average rating's about 6.87. his best score was 7.3 against, I don't know who he was playing there, but Newcastle Jets when they won 4-2 and he scored 1 goal. And he only played 8 minutes in that game.
Wow.
So, yeah. So in that game, he played 8 minutes and scored 1 goal. So he's obviously being used as a substitute, I think. But yeah, other than that, I don't really know a lot about him. Other than what I just found on here. But give the guy a chance. He's 18. He's got time to develop. And, bring him in. And then just send him on loan. But where do you send him on loan? Do you send him on loan to a championship club? Or do you say to a lower half-table Premier League club? There you go. Do you try him out in the Premier League with somebody? Say you send him to a Fulham or a Southampton or somewhere like that on loan. You know, and I'm not dissing Southampton or Fulham saying they're a lower part of the Premier League, but I'm just saying if you give him to someone like that, a mid-table club, then see how he does. Or put him in the Championship for the rest of the season with a club that's fighting for promotion, maybe. See a Sheffield United or a Norwich City or something like that. But yeah. But like I say, I don't really know a lot about the guy and I don't watch the Aussie League. But that was all I found online about stats-wise. And he doesn't look bad. He like I say, he's got time to develop. That's the thing. He's one for the future.
Yeah. Well, let's hope he goes to, I think he'll probably send to like a Dutch club or someone like that, sort of to toughen up a little bit. Or maybe he's in the French league. Who knows? Celtic fans, according to the Daily Mail, mock the Greens' death in Poland. I mean, come on, that is absolutely shocking. Absolutely disgraceful for that, man. And yeah, Euro's done that. There's only a minority of Celtic fans there, sort of thing. I say shame on you guys for coming out and see her, lads. I'm not even going to mention it on me, sure. Absolutely nowhere. Did you know Wilson Keppel Betty? No idea, Chris, but move on. Showing your ears there, Chris. I'm not really sure on YouTube as well. And what about you, Mason? I'm sure you haven't heard of this guy, surely.
Not until the day. But I had a little flick through of like the players he's like the coaching staff and the players he's working under. I seen he's played alongside if you remember him, Jason Cummins, the Forest striker. He and obviously the manager's Nick Montgomery. They'll probably tell him. And you had a youth, which is Luke Wilkshire, who played for Middlesbrough. They might have told him that go to Newcastle because he'll tell them that the club's on the up. It's a big project. Apparently, he's going to be on he's going to be on 25 grand a week, which is absolutely bonkers for an 18-year-old who nobody's mentioned, but he's worked with Jason Cummins, who, he didn't get the chance at Nottingham Forest, but he's been a good goal scorer in the Scottish Premier League, and obviously he'll tell like what the English game's like, how it's worked, how it's played, and so will the manager. So I think if he's played under like a few of them players and some notable players in Australia, and he's played really, really well and coached right and played right, I think we've got a good player in my hands.
Yeah, fair enough for me. So another winning by goal to know, by the way. Thanks, Lewis.
Yeah, Patrick Roberts.
Yeah, he's played for Celtic as well on the season on loan. And who is not a Rangers fan? Who wash your mouth?
Can I just say as well, someone have had to take their striker off because he's injured, so that's the two main strikers are off the pitch injured, they're both injured, so maybe winning, but at a big cost for them.
A very, very huge cost as well. I want to talk about this guy, Tony, this guy, Andres Santos from Vasca da Gama. Now, we definitely don't watch the Brazilian league. He's highly rated, right? I mean, Barca and PSG are also after this guy as well. But Vasco da Gama are in the second division of the Brazilian league, right? And Serie A B, that's what it's called, Serie A B. But it's a Brazilian Serie A B. And he scored 5 goals in 28 appearances. He's only 18 years old, right? Maybe he's strongly linked to this guy. I mean, what's the very latest on this one?
Well, I've heard the rumblings about him. You know, and that again, it seems to be the drums are beating high on him. I'll just interrupt that a minute, John. Sunderland have now just gone 2-0 up. They've scored 2 goals within a couple of minutes of each other.
Wow.
But yeah, back to Andrés Santos. I don't know a lot about him, John. As I say, I don't watch Brasilia Serie A B football. But you know, he's 18, 5'10". As I say, the second division in Brazil. Because I think Vasco da Gama used to be in the top league in Brazil, didn't they?
They did.
Didn't Bruno start there?
No, it's Alette Paranese.
But wasn't he? Was someone to do with Newcastle? I'm sure I played for Vasco da Gama somewhere along the line. I'm sure of it. It's just the name. The club sounds very familiar with either something we've either had a player that's played there, or you know, we've had something to do with them. Just the name of the club sounds familiar in Brazil.
Yeah,
because it's not one of the most like it's not like a Corinthians or Sao Paulo. They're like obviously a lesser. It's just the name sounds familiar. That's all. I mean, so I might say I'm wrong. But
I think they've played in the Club World Cup a few times as well.
They did.
I think Liverpool played them. I think, didn't they?
No, it's Man United. I can remember when Mundo played for them as well, and Romario played for them back in 1999, 2000, and they went 3 goals up in that game.
Yes,
they absolutely took United apart. And Beckham got sent off. It wasn't against Vasca, but Edmundo and Romario absolutely ripped them a good one that day. It really, really did. But they were a big club in Brazil, by the way, once upon a time. But touching on that, Foxy, who's a South American expert or correspondent, said that Vasco fans want Andre out. He's come under a lot of criticism lately. Why is that, Foxy? Why is he coming under a lot of criticism, mate? Is this a performance, or is his head being turned over there?
Oh, I think maybe the latter.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, I mean, one thing I'm going to say, there's a lot of people. Tim Vickery, he's the expert of the South American football correspondent as well. He is saying that it's best for a Brazilian to go from Brazilian football and play in Europe at an early age, which he is 18 years old, go to a European club first, get 3-4 year experience out of them, and then come to the Premier League. But leaving Brazilian football to come to the Premier League at that age is very, very, very tough. It's going to be a culture shock for the guy. But Juninho's done it. And look at Bruno. He left Brazilian football to come to Lyon, right? And then on to Newcastle United. So, Joe Linton as well. Yeah, but Austrian football, went to Hoffenheim from loan and then to Newcastle.
I'll tell you what, John, we had the very first Brazilian in the Premier League, Mirandinha.
Right.
After he scored his equaliser after he scored the goal for Brazil against England at Wembley.
Yes, he did.
You know, and he came in pretty late-ish, didn't he? So, and I'll tell you
what,
he wasn't a bad player either.
Was it the late 80s he was here?
Yeah. We signed him for 575,000 from Palmeiras.
Yeah,
in Brazil. I've got some. I'll just show something on screen about this Andrés Santos.
Yeah, sure.
I was going to say I don't really know about him because again, Brazilian leagues aren't like 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm fast asleep then, so I can't watch it.
Yeah, exactly. Is that on screen now, John?
It is.
Yeah. So he's 18, right-footed midfielder, plays defensive midfielder, midfield centre. So he's, like you see, his head might just be turned about, and that's why he may just not be performing very well. But this is season 22, so this is a season now. So on his heat map there, he plays a lot around here in the middle of the park. But he can get up. He does get back and defend, and he can get up into the final third as well. But most of his work is here in this middle section of the park. 24 games, started all 24. He's played 86 minutes a game. He's got 5 goals in 24 games. So really is a midfielder or a defensive midfielder. That's not bad, really. But we've got to bear in mind this is second division in Brazil, like the championship in England. So, so he's scoring frequencies every 411 minutes. But it's his passing we've got to look at more than anything because he's a midfielder. So he's accurate per game is 78%. Accuracy in his own half's 85%.
Yeah.
Accuracy in opposition half 72%. His long balls are 50% accurate. Chip passes are 46% accurate. Crosses are only 27% again. Like the other guy from Australia, not great on crosses, but he's 18. He's got time to develop. You know, and the thing is, if he came into Newcastle, he's got Bruno for company, he's got Joe Linton for company. So at the end of the day, he's got a couple of Brazilians there who can help him out and get him settled in. And who knows, he could be a great player in years to come, Johnny. He's one for the future again. I think the fee talked about was about 35 million euros. So, you know, I mean, they've got it. Well, they haven't got a valuation down here, but yeah. So, but that's all I can say about him. What I've got up there on the screen, and his average ratings round about 7.17. So he's a 7 out of 10 player every game, and that's for an 18-year-old. But bear in mind, this lad's got time to grow. And you think of how many Brazilians come out of Brazil at a young age and go. Some make it in Europe, some don't. I mean, you know, I think Vini Jr., he's like a one-off, isn't he? He's only 21, but what a player he is at 21. I mean, I'm just frightened to see what he's like in the next 5 or 6 years, because if he's that good now at 21, I think he's going to be like probably the best in the world by the time he's 25, 26. You know, depending how his career goes. But yeah, like I say, I don't really know a lot about this lad, but obviously Foxy said he's not getting, you know, they're wanting him out of there. But again, that could be the fact that his head's been turned by a transfer, and maybe that's what he's thinking. Oh, I can go to Europe and I can get a team in Europe who will take me. So, but I think if anything, if he did come to us, it would be the right move, because not only has he got the Brazilians, but you've got Eddie Howe there as well, and all of Eddie Howe's coaching staff. Yeah. And, you know, we know what Eddie Howe's like at getting the best out of players. We've seen that with Joe Linton. So, yeah. He's probably what I would call a rough diamond, this lad. Yeah. Santos. Mm-hmm. But you can always smooth them out and make them into a diamond.
Exactly. We'll wait and see on that one if it comes to us or not. Hendricks Bodiolfo, that's some Billy. Big up to Billy. And Coutinho started at Vasco. He's a talented lad, but it's unfair criticism. Just reactions to defeats. He carries that team at the minute, which is he's at 18 years old, playing beyond his years. Well, he's so highly rated. Wow. Yeah, he did play for them, Billy. He played for them as well on loan. And being the clone lad, hope you're okay, mate. Everyone's chat to everybody else. Started Vasco, into Bolton, very young, 15, 16. I read to Andrew, hope you're okay, mate. And F1 side with Billy as well. Yeah, I'm just going to say, would you sign him? Would you take a chance on this guy? Anyone for next season? Or
I would. You've seen it with obviously Joe Pedro, but he went in a poor Watford side who, once he signed at the end of the season, they got relegated. And then bit yo-yo, and then it's bit yo-yo. But if that kid comes in, he won't be playing for yo-yo club. He'll be fighting for Europe every season. So if he wants to play in like one of the biggest, like the biggest European competition in the world.
Yeah.
If I was enough, I'll just say I want to go there because I'll be fighting every season to play in Europe. That's my ambition.
Yeah.
I trust the owners and who we're going for and everything like that now. As you can see, that apart from Chris Wood, all the signings that we've made have made so big of a difference that you can see that it's this. You can't not see that they're doing the right thing and signing the right players because what? I mean, this lad will probably be. He might come in and he might get loaned out when he comes in if we were to sign him. I mean, who's to say we don't sign him and keep him in Brazil in the last season and bring him over when he's had another season, or maybe send him to Europe for a season, or just for him to mature somewhere. It's like this is what could happen because he's only 18, so there's plenty of possibilities. And like I've just said, I trust the owners who we go for. So if they go for him, then he gets me support.
Yeah. Go on.
Yeah, I mean, he could come into the club, and then Eddie Howe could see what he's like in training, and might think, hang on a minute, I'm going to keep a hold of this lad for half the season, like if he comes in January, and he might, because one, he's 18, so he wouldn't take up his squad place, so it might be a fact of like, okay, let's keep him because he's done all right in training, and we'll bring him on, maybe give him 10, 15 minutes per game, get him up to speed of the Premier League, and give him a chance that way. Just bring him on as a sub, play him in the FA Cup, maybe play him in a cup game or something like that. See how he copes with the English game. Or you send him out abroad somewhere like Holland or Portugal or Spain, and just give him game time. But you're not going to know about these players until they're actually in the club and they're on that training pitch. But as I say, Eddie Howe might see him on the training pitch and think, hang on a minute, I'm going to keep him in. Yeah, let's bring him on and give him some game time. He's done that with Elliot Anderson. So who knows?
Very, very true. Very true. We'll wait and see Beta Breath if it's going to move, it's going to happen or not. We'll see. What's the crack? What's the bleeding story, everyone? Delboy, how you doing, my guy? I hope you're okay. And he's a great guy. Check out his channel, by the way. It's absolutely amazing. Loving the bits, by the way. And hello to the panel as well. Billy saying Dan Ashworth doesn't sign many duds. I have to agree there because Dan Ashworth loves signing South American players and a good work at Newcastle. So I hope he can share those up for sale as well at Brighton, apparently. So he could be on his way in January. Could be Chelsea. And ex-Real Madrid manager relegated Vasco Vanderleer Luxemburgo. I've heard of him. I have heard of him. And he wasn't that great, even in my opinion. Missed start the show. The 17-year-old Australian looks decent, but I don't watch the Australian League, mate. I really don't watch the Australian League, so no one that he looks probably say he looks good, but no one haven't watched him at all. And let's just stop at 8 o'clock in the morning and watch his games. You never know. But there you go. So yeah, guys, if you like the video, like what you see, then please hit the like button. Also hit the subscribe button as well. If you like to super chat, then click on the $sign and you'd like to become a member. The link's up in the description as well. Click on that and it's 99p. Do follow Mason, Tony, and Chippers on their social medias as well. Now the football's back on Saturday against Bournemouth. Start with you, Mason. We need the 3 points, man.
Definitely. Easy, probably one of the easiest games so far this season from Forest because yes, they beat Forest 3-2 once, but I think it's an easy game for us. Mix of Championship players, and they've got a Champions League winner who was just signed, so just shows you they've got like a Championship team. Plus a Champions League goalkeeper. But if we somehow win, I think we should just get the 3 points.
Yeah, let's hope that is the case, and let's hope we get our 4 players back. Chippers.
I think we'll beat them comfortably. To be honest, I think it'll be like the Nottingham Forest game all over again. I think it's just a case of if we have Bruno, ASM. I think if we have them 2 back, I wouldn't mind. I don't mind if Wilson's not back, because I think if them 2 are in the team, I think we'll absolutely we'll beat them pretty comfortably. I think even maybe even without them, I think we'll still beat them. I think they're a team of championship fodder, and yeah, they beat Nottingham Forest a couple of weeks ago. They came from 2-0 down, but Forest are absolutely garbage in my opinion now, because they're just 20 odd players stuck together, and I just think they've got the worst squad in this league on paper, so we should be going out there. And I mean, it's our last game for about 3 weeks, 2-3 weeks or something. So it's at home. It just like the key thing is for me, if when the team sheets are out, if the guy says 39 Bruno, I think that would just give everybody a massive lift just to see him back on the team. I think we can manage having ASM as a sub and bringing him on maybe against Bournemouth, because we can tire them out for an hour and then see Maxi there you go, and there's half an hour to just rinse them. That's what I think we could do. I just think Bruno, he's our key player. There's no denying it. He is our player that we need to play every week, because he dictates the way we play. Yes, we play on the front foot, but he's got the final cutting edge. He's got that final ball, the final end product that we need. I mean, the Palace game, having Longstaff in that midfield, yeah, he set up the Isaac goal at Liverpool, but he offered nothing. That might be down to the fact he played 4 games in 10 days. I don't know, but there was just nothing there from him. And I think he's when you're replacing Bruno with Sean Longstaff, it's just like you're replacing a Rolls Royce with a Robin Reliant. You know, the difference is massive. And if he starts on Saturday, the lift that will give the stadium, the players around him, just to see him back in that team, it'll be a case of they'll be confident to give him the ball and he will do something with it. Because when I watch Longstaff at times, I think he's shy. He doesn't want the ball. I don't think he knows what he wants. I think he goes missing too much, and I think it's just, he's just not good enough, and he's not good. Like we've said so many times, I don't think he's good enough. I just think you look at the difference, man. It's just you've got a directness when you've got Bruno on the ball. He only thinks going forward, and he just has to play. Simple as he has to start. I don't mind ASM being on the bench and coming on for, like I said, a half an hour run out, because by then Bournemouth's defence should be tiring, and fresh legs with pace should be shit scared of it. So for me, I think Bruno's the key one to start on Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing is, so it's a massive game. Well, I would say it's a massive game for us, because you haven't won since the opening day of the season, Tony. And the thing is as well, right, we need to get back on track.
Yeah, John, we do. We need a win. We need a win just to give her that little boost. And, what better way to get that win now? This is the last game before the international break coming up. Bournemouth on a great side. There might be a bit of sentiment at the start of it. The Bournemouth fans will probably give Eddie Howe, I would imagine, a good reception, because, for what he did for that club, he did fantastic for that club. They wouldn't have been anywhere near the Premier League if it wasn't for Eddie Howe. So they've got a lot to thank Eddie Howe for. But Eddie Howe won't think of sentiment. He'll put that aside. He'll say to his players, get out there and fill your boots. And what he means by fill your boots, get out there and score as many as you can, because they're there for the taking. They've got a lot of championship players in that squad. I think that keeper from Barcelona looks very suspect, Neto. So, he may have won a Champions League or whatever, but I think he looks very suspect. The goals are some conceded against Forest. I can see us winning this game now. Somebody in our WhatsApp group earlier said apparently Bruno was on the training pitch, but no sign of Maxi. I definitely don't think Wilson would be back this weekend. There was a lot of people saying, oh, well, could Wilson be fit? Personally, I would say don't bother with Wilson this weekend. Leave him. Give him the extra time over the international break. Then bring him back after the international break if he's fit by then. But certainly don't bring him back before, because what happens is if he's on the bench and see you bring Wilson on, give him 20 minutes and he breaks down, then you're starting all over again. So if anything, leave him out of this game and get him fresh and get him firing and then bring him back in. Make sure he's 100%. I mean, who knows? Maxi could be back on Saturday. Who knows? We don't know. We won't know until 2 p.m. when that team sheet comes out, and we'll find out who's actually in the team and who's not. I think Bruno will definitely be back. And if he is, that'll be one hell of a boost. But I think this is a type of game where Isak can go out there and probably fill his boots as well, because, you know, they are shocking in defence as well. Their defences in Premier League. I know we were linked with that Lloyd Kelly. To be honest, I don't really rate him that highly. He may be good in the Championship, but he certainly doesn't look good in the Premier League. But there again, he's playing in the poor Bournemouth side. I think we're going to win that game comfortably. And as I said last night in the prediction show on the Premier League show, I'm going to stick to my guns and say we will win that game 5-0.
Yeah, good luck with that, man. But you going 5-0. What score are you going for, Chippers? What score are you going for, mate?
I can see where Tony's coming from, because of the chances we're creating, we're not taking them. I do think... Oh, John, is that you?
Pretty much.
Oh, there was in the air.
Who's that?
That's man from Wales, isn't it, John?
No. It's just a mate.
Ah, of course it is.
It is.
I can see where Tony's coming from with a 5-0, because I think if we keep creating these chances, one game they're all going to go in and someone's going to get a hammer in. But I've said 2-0. I think it'll just be exactly like the Forest game, where from the first whistle we'll be too hungry, we'll dominate, and we'll not let them have a minute's peace, and we'll take 2 chances. So I think 2-0, a comfortable 2-0.
2-0. And what about you, Mason?
Both squads on paper. Bournemouth, it's a majority of Championship, plus 1 Champions League player. No, actually 1 Champions League player and 1 Europa League, because they've got since the Argentinian from Feyenoord who's played in Europe before. So they've got 2 players who have played in Europe, but mainly it's just like Championship players. Mm-hmm. I think final Newcastle comfortably, but we'll comfortably win that game, because I can't see Bournemouth doing much up top, because they'll defending their lives, because they've got a decent centre back from Feyenoord and a decent keeper from Barcelona, and that's it. The rest are mainly Championship players who aren't good enough for the Premier League.
I think as well, you've got the pace of Isaac, and you saw against Palace. I know he didn't score a chance, but like the way he got away from the defence like that, like click of the fingers and he was gone. I think all it'll take is 1 through pass and he's away. He's gone. No one's catching him. He's that quick. No one will catch him. It's just a case of if he can finish, which against Liverpool he could. I literally just think this is the type of game we need going into an international break, going into a break where we're going on a high after 3 points, and then we can just look forward to having 2 weeks of just, we don't need to worry about football for 2 weeks again. We don't need to worry about the games and worry about players come back from injury. And I mean, we'll just have shitty England to talk about, won't we?
Exactly. I was going to say, I'm going to go 3-0 for Newcastle. I mean, we are going to give someone a hammering. Excuse me. We're going to give someone a hammering. We've got to take our chances, by the way. If we take our chances, we win the game comfortably. If we don't, we could get punished. But I still expect us to win by 3 goals. So now we get back on track. For me, Bruno plays, he will score. and Isak could get 2. No problems at all whatsoever. So got one from Amsen, Wilson, Tony. 4, 5, 6. I can see that kind of scoreline. That's from Lewis. And big up to Barbara Barlow. It's going to be a female for me, Isak and Bruno. The score will be 7 officials are ordered to allow Bruno 3 balls, Isak at the weekend. That's a Chrome lad as well. So that's going to be up there, people, because it's going to be a short one.
John, I know we've gone over now, but can we quickly talk about the bloody how clueless that Chelsea owner is just before we wrap up? Can we just have a laugh at that?
Go for it, man. You choose the topic, Sam. You go for it.
What planet is he on? What mushrooms is he smoking? What alcoholic drink is he drinking? What drugs is he taking? What on the cheek or the nerve of somebody who's been at the club for 5 minutes and he's expecting all these changes? Is he that really thick? And that just shows to me again the lack of care and respect and knowledge that he's got for this division and the Premier League as a whole. It's absolutely farcical. He wants a North of East South match to replace the Charity Shield when the Charity Shield's history and our people just class it as a friendly. But it's history. That's what it's about. It's about our history. And he's wanting to rip it all up and just create an Americanized league. And I'll tell you one thing. All these American owners that are in this division are shitting themselves for if in case they get relegated. They're all covering their backs by not wanting relegation fights in like leagues and only wanting teams to win a league. And it's just absolutely ridiculous. And it just seems to me it's just they want to bore this league to bits. They want everything where there's no relegation battles, so what's the point? What's the point in wanting to play in a league where you've got no fight? You can only fight for winning the league. You won't get into Europe or nothing. You will only have one thing to fight for, and that's it. Tell me the point in that? It's absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely boring. It pisses me off that the fact that he's come out and said this when, it's absolutely pathetic, and I just, how like this. The sad thing is, Sky have done their own North team, like, and it's all full of Man United, Man City, and Liverpool players. You're telling me that, and they had Trent Alexander-Arnold at right back. You're telling me he's had a good season. Van Dijk at centre back. You're telling me he's had a good season. Ronaldo's hardly kicked a football this season. Salah's only scored 1 goal in the Champions League. How on earth are they all starters? Again, that to me seems like Sky trying to plug it as if to say, ooh, if this happens, we want to cover it. All for the money. I am sick of death of these American ones coming in and just, they're the ones sports washing this game. They're sports washing football completely. And you know what? Ollie Holt actually had a good article about it, saying how clueless Bowley was and all that, and I had to double take it. I'm saying it because I thought if this was Saudi Arabian suggesting it, you would be all over us like a fly wound shit. And, it's completely embarrassing. The fact, like I said, a bloke who's been in this country for 5 minutes seems to want to change everything. And it's wrong. If I was the Premier League, I would come out and say, oh, cheers Todd Bowley for your suggestion, but fuck off. That's what I'll be saying to him, because it's not going to happen, whether you like it or not. You might as well sell up Chelsea and go, because your fantasies are not going to happen, whether you like it or not.
Well said, Sam. Well said, Sam. Big up.
I'd have put it on Twitter, but as you could tell, it would be quite a long paragraph. I mean, people might get lost after reading the first sentence. So,
I'll be posting that on Twitter myself, and I have my say on it as well.
Speaking of Chelsea, they've just scored against Leipzig, Raheem Sterling.
Salzburg.
Oh, Salzburg.
So
I get mixed up with them now.
Thanks for that, mate. So don't worry, it's all fine. I'll quit. Yeah. Go through these comments quickly. First of all, we'll go over Pablo. Thank you so much for the super chat, my guy, at 10 quid. And he also said some money for the food bank next time you donate, John. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. So thanks so much indeed, Pablo. And soon I'll go against Brentford next month, and I will make sure that I will donate that money to the food bank as well, and it will be proved as well. So Team Pole side Jack the North South Pole over Twitter, and Wilson's in the North team over Haaland at the minute. Well, he's an American. He should steal. We have a North versus South battles. Go on.
Yeah, I've obviously got the Mackham game on there. And guess who's in the Reading crowd?
No
Todd
idea, mate.
Bowles.
Well, actually,
Sam
you're
Allardyce.
close because he's from Chelsea. The Chelsea loan coach, Carlo Cudicini, the ex-goalkeeper, who's their loan director or coach or whatever you want to call him.
Is he?
I hope he's not looking at Mackham players because none of them are any good, are they?
Nah.
Have they not got players on loan at Reading? Or
I think they've got that Baba Rama.
yeah,
left back?
I think the name rings a bell. Yeah.
I got him on loan.
Who's that? Sunderland have?
No,
No,
Reading.
it's Reading.
Oh, Reading. Oh, well, maybe he's watching him. Maybe I don't know, but
He must be the only staff there because Bowley sacked the rest of them.
yeah.
It must be just Bowley and Cudicini, and that's it. They've got no director of football. They've got no CEO. They've got nothing because he sacked them all.
They've got a sporting director. That's Bowley.
Right, he's all the rules.
The thing is, so I'm going back to what you were saying, Sam, and the thing is, it's an absolute ridiculous thing to come out with because, you know, you can't replace the Charity Shield or the Community Shield as it's called now. It used to be called the Charity Shield. You can't replace that because that's gone on for a long, long time. And that shield helps with communities because, you know, it gets split with charities and that. Well, with communities. But the thing is, so it's like saying in the National League North and South, it's like saying, right, okay, the top team in North and the top team in South can't be promoted yet because you need a playoff between them two to see which one can be promoted. That's unfair. And you can't do that in the Premier League. Just because you do this back in the States and things like that, or you do it in baseball, or you do it in basketball or whatever, you can't do it over here. And this is a problem with these American owners, John, because you see, when the ESL was kicking off, when that all started, that was not started by Florentino Perez of Real Madrid. It was not started by Juan Laporte of Barcelona, because the Juventus owner actually said John Henry of Liverpool and the Glazer family of Man United were the ones who started the Super League and got everybody else involved. Even got Abramovich and everybody on board and said, look, let's go and have a league. It was John Henry who said, we want a closed group, no relegation, nobody can join it, just us teams. We'll play our own thing week in, week out, and we'll still do with domestic leagues. But we're not really, and John Henry says, we're not really bothered about the Premier League as such, because that's only a small league. He says the European Super League will be the biggest thing that ever happened in the world. And they all got shut down because of that. And this was all documented by the Juventus chairman or owner. And, you know, I'm glad it did get... but the thing is, the only problem is this Todd Bowley, I reckon he could be trouble as well, because could there be a fact that he may go to Liverpool and Man United and say, right, should we try and get the Super League up and running again? That's the problem with these American owners.
Exactly. All they want is money, money, money all the time. They don't give a toss about the Premier League. They want the Super League to make more money. Well, if that's the case, sort of thing, right? If they want to play in the Super League, cool. But don't come back to the Premier League. And once you leave the Premier League, like in golf, right? If you go to the Live series, right, you don't come back to PGA. Simple as that. You know what I mean? But it's all about the money at the end of the day. And it's just getting worse and worse and worse.
If he wants this, like the Premier League, if he wants this American, why isn't he just going on an American football, as he would say, soccer team instead? Because he may as well have just did that rather than buy Chelsea.
Crazy, man. Billy's got a good point. The club would never allow the stars to play because the insurance premiums would be sky high. Imagine Kevin De Bruyne watching an ACL in an All-Stars game. Won't ever work. Billy, thank you.
Exactly.
He is right. He's right.
Billy is spot on what he's saying there, because it's like, say, we have Bruno in an All-Stars team that gets injured. We would be up in arms over it, or Isak, you know, we would be up in arms over it. So, no, it's silly, really. It's you know, it's yet again another American coming out with a silly idea. You know, keep what you do in America, keep it over there. But we don't want it in the UK, thank you.
I'll tell you what, why didn't the person who was interviewing him yesterday ask that question to say, what if Raheem Sterling snapped his cruciate when he was playing for them and he'd be out for the full season? What would you have done then, Todd, if one of your star players was out for the season because of your idea of this match that you wanted to take place?
Exactly. Totally agree.
You'd probably blame on the other clubs and say, "Oh, well, your players caused the injury," but it's John's agent.
John, are you wanting to wrap up? Because I know your phone's going off, but you want to wrap up? Because we can if you want.
No. Honestly, man. I mean, giving other families. No, it's just a message. Could be for work as well, sort of thing. Like, you know, and it looks like for me, I'm gonna have to sort myself out in a bit, sort of thing. You know what I mean? But don't worry about that, man. Go on.
Yeah, it's just. But yeah, it is. It's just an absolute crazy idea, and it's one that would never work anyway. So I don't think it'll go anywhere. Just another crazy American idea again, from one of these American owners, you know. But yeah, I can't see it working, if I'm honest, John, and I hope it never does come in. It'll just spoil football.
Exactly. Jude Bellew's just scored for Dortmund, by the way. John's been much fun. Yeah, nah.
Is that for you? It's probably him saying, "Oh, we've got your box sorted for tomorrow night, John. We'll see you there."
Wow.
We've got your prawn sarnies ready.
I said no. Wow. Listen, on that bombshell, by the way, I mean, go on, Tony.
Yeah, sorry, John. I just want to quickly mention something here. Now, what do you think about what Dubravka's come out with today? So I'll just read out what he said.
Right.
Martin Dubravka, we spent almost 5 beautiful years in Newcastle. But from a sporting point of view, it was often very difficult, as we mostly played for survival. We didn't have the opportunity to think about competing in the higher ranks, even though it turned out to be quite interesting in the end. But I have wonderful memories of Newcastle. I'm currently at Man United, and I'm looking forward to being part of such an incredible club. It's always been my ambition to be part of a club like Manchester United that is fighting for the biggest trophies. And now it's a reality. I have never made a secret of this, and now it is. Right, first of all, I want to say on the first part of Dubravka, I can see where he's coming from, because at the end of the day, under Mike Ashley, all it was finish 17th place. That's all he wanted in the Premier League. As long as you finish 4th bottom, and he was pocketing the money, he couldn't care. He wasn't interested in the higher echelons of the Premier League. Yes, we had that under Pardew where we got 5th, but after that, he didn't take any further. But that was because of Ashley. So I can see where he's coming from on that, because I remember there was a quote from ESM. St. Maxim come out with a quote and said, I don't want to beat this club if all we're doing every year is fighting for survival to stay. If the ambitions to finish 4th bottom season after season. And I could see exactly where he's coming from. Now, for Dubravka to now say that he's gone to a great club that's going to win trophies. Now, when I read that, I nearly spat my tea out, because that, I just thought, where's he coming from on this? And I'm sorry, but the thing is, though, Dubravka decided to leave being second choice at us to being second choice at Man U. Now, the thing is, though, people were automatically presuming he's going to play European games. He didn't play on Thursday because De Gea played that game. Mm-hmm. So, as much as I think Dubravka's done really well for us, he's been a great servant. And I can see his comments on the first thing. Yeah, okay, fair enough. We were fighting for survival, things like that, and we weren't really going up the table. But I think he's forgetting the owners we've got now that want to take this club forward.
Agreed.
And surely he should see what we're trying to build. And unfortunately, Pope has been a step above him. And that the reason why is Pope is a top goalkeeper in the country at the moment. In the Premier League, he's top of the ranks. And if Pickford's out, which he will be, if Pope isn't put in as number 1, then Gareth Southgate is obviously a complete not a monumental bell end if he doesn't put Pope in the number 1 starting lineup against Germany and Italy. But for Dubravka to cry about not getting his place and saying, right, I want to be at Man United where I want to go to a big club. Right, okay, you've gone there. But I don't we'll get used to sitting on that one bench. I'm sure they've got heated seats there for the winter, so you know his arse won't get cold. But at the end of the day, if that's what he thinks he's going to do and win trophies there, well, where's Man U going to win another trophy? Because I can't see one coming along in the next 2 or 3 years unless the cup fairies will come past and give him one. The only thing Martin Dubravka might win is an egg cup in the canteen.
Yeah. Can I just add to it as well, quickly, 2 points? The first point, why did he sign for it if he was so bored? Or why did he stay here for 5 years if he was so bored about our lack of ambition? Because it was quite clear, and I'm pretty sure Rafa would have told him that you'll be fighting relegation with these owners because the owner doesn't give a shit. I'm pretty sure Rafa would have told him that. Secondly, that says to me as if he's not coming back at the end of this season. That says to me that he's either going to be. I think he's getting sold in the summer because the way he said, like, I've had a good 5 years, but I want to win things at Man U. Sorry, but who says Man U are going to keep you beyond this season? They might get rid of him. They might send him back, and then we can just take the piss out of him and say, well, you look a bit stupid, didn't you, Martin, mate, saying you're going to win things at Old Trafford, and you could come back and only play 2 games this season. He needs to realise that, yes, he's a good keeper, but he's not as good as he thinks he is, because when I went to the Bilbao game, the home game, the friendly, their goal was his fault because he didn't. I'm sorry, he's too static as a keeper. He stays on his line too much. He doesn't command his box. That's down to the injuries he's had recently. That's another thing. The amount of injuries he started picking up as a keeper, it's too much for a goalkeeper. He missed, what was it, 3 or 4 months of last season, and he missed about 6 months the season before that because of injuries. So for me, like I said, I'm glad he went because he cried wolf when your better keeper was signed ahead of him. He had no fight or balls in him to even compete. So piss off, as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, the thing is as well, Sam, when you think you only come from the Czech Farmers League, so
yeah.
And that what's the Czech League compared to the Premier League? It's nothing, is it really? And I mean, I just don't get where he's come from. But if that's the way he wants to be. But I think Martin Dubravka upset a lot of fans from when he signed for them. His first thing was he's sitting in front of the TV. Come on, lads.
Watching Man U, yeah.
Yeah. So, like I say, I think they'll have heated seats there, so you'll be all right. You'll not get cold loss in the winter, will he?
No.
Crap. Wow. I'll tell you what, though. Who's going to win the trophies first between us and Man United? I think it'd be very close. I really do. But
It'll
if we
be
win a
us.
trophy, yeah, I think it will. I think it'd be us.
Well, John, Jamie O'Hara's already said that. And I mean, Laura Woods sort of looked at him and said, hang on, what are you on here? And this was 6 months ago. Jamie O'Hara said, Newcastle will win the Premier League before Man United. And Laura Woods went, are you joking? And he went, no, you sound being serious. She went, but you aren't being serious. And he went, yes, I am. He says, Newcastle win a trophy before Man United.
I hope that's the case. I really hope that is the case. Because we've got a project going on.
Win the Carabao Cup this season, John. I've got us down to win that.
I think we could, I think we could. Because you're not scared of League One at all. We could win a trophy this season. I really do. Let's hope we get a favourable draw leading to it, and we'll be absolutely fine. So we'll beat Palace. We'll beat Palace, Harry. But hey,
just a shame if we did play Man U in that cup. We can't play. We can't have Dubravka playing against us, can we? So
nah.
You know, but you know what would happen, though, John? He would have a blinder that day against us, wouldn't he?
It could well do. It could well be, mate. He could, but it's always the way, isn't it? Against former clubs as well, former players does well against us, but that's what they do.
Like I said the other night, John, when we were doing the worst players, and I said Dave Besant because he was absolutely woeful for us. And I remember, like I say, back in that championship season in '92, and we had won the first 10 games in a row, and then we played Grimsby, and he was on loan from Chelsea at Grimsby. And I'll tell you what, at St James's Park that day, he played a blinder that day. We couldn't get nothing past him. Everything we hit, he got his hand to it, his legs to it, anything. He was absolutely immense that day, and he was man of the match for them. In the 90th minute, Jim Dobbins scored from like 25, 30 yards out and ended that winning streak we had. But yeah, I remember that game because I was standing in the Milburn paddock, and but every shot we put at Besant, he just saved everything that day. And I thought, hang on, why didn't you do this when you were here?
Exactly. Bloody exactly. It's always the way, isn't it? But it depends on the confidence you're playing for as well, man. Do you know what I mean? Maybe us come prepared for a point of proof, but listen, it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? But what can I say? Good points, Tony. Read this comments before we wrap up. By the time we start the series challenging for trophies, Dubravka will be close to retirement, if not already retired. That's a great shout there, mate. If Man U don't sign Dubravka, then what? They go with David De Gea. And good luck to you, Lewis. Thank you for watching, mate. Guys, going to wrap up there. And, you know, it's been on for quite a while, which is fantastic. Thanks so much for doing it. And thank you all thanks for joining as well. Yeah, so, Mace, where can you find you, man?
You can find us at Mason4 on Twitter.
And Sam?
Chipperfield not on Twitter, and Chipperfield Sam on Instagram, I think, and obviously just Sam Chipperfield on Facebook. You know, for the ladies out there.
Yes. and he does like to tweet about the Man U ladies as well, sort of thing.
Oh, give our one, John.
Yes, you're
constant, man.
Yeah, I've known it for 10, yeah? I've known it for 10 years. A lot longer than you guys, by the way. So
all them trips to Old Trafford in the Stretford end there, you know what I mean? Must be all right.
Hey. Well, I'll tell you what, man. I'm going to see it, right? They show respect, sort of thing. They show respect, every one of them. But there you go. Tony, tell us where you find you, mate. Give us a plug in, mate.
Yep, so you can find me down there at Tony31. Give me a follow, and I'll follow you back, just like Lewis did tonight, and I followed him straight back.
Big up. Thank you very much indeed. And Tony, check your DMs, apparently.
Oh.
I'm going to have a look now. Billy sent me something, has he?
Oh.
Wow. Cheers,
wow. Hang on, John. I'm going to show you something. I'll have to show you this.
Okay.
Billy's just sent me. And don't worry, it's not rude or anything, so don't worry about that.
No, that's fine. Chip has you're disappointing me.
Is it not John and these Man U? I'm telling you what, as soon as we wrap up here, John will be going to watch their treble win season in 99-2000.
Yeah, right.
He's probably got the history on. He's probably got the Man U history DVD.
As soon as he hangs up, it'll be glory, Man U.
That's Rangers tonight. That's what Billy just sent me.
I've seen
that. It's class. That is absolutely,
isn't it? That's how you do it. Not like Celtic do it. That's how you do it.
And talking about that game, Rangers 0, Napoli 0. But Napoli scored for the penalty, but had to be taken. Zielinski took it, and it's a double save by Alan McGregor. And Rangers are down to 10 players as well, 10 men after Sands got sent off. But Napoli's taking the lead from Politano. So Juventus are flipping losing, by the way, against Benfica. So
Sunderland are 3 up.
So it is what it is. But
Sunderland 3-0 up, John.
Yes, I believe they are. Yes, they are 3-0 up. Chelsea's still winning. Real Madrid, Leipzig, 0 each. Copenhagen, Sevilla, 0 each. Man City still lose at home against Dortmund by 0-0. Juve is losing 2-1 at home to Benfica. And PSG are away to Maccabi Haifa, and they're winning by 2-1. So there you go. Guys, going to wrap up there. And thanks, Tony, on the Napoli. And trips to the Stretford end there. Get out, man. Get out, man. But guys, if you like the video, like what you see, hit the like button. Also hit the subscribe button. Also, if you'd like to super chat, thank you for Pablo for a £10 donation. Kind donation, by the way. I appreciate that. Thank you so much indeed. And if you'd like to become a member, 99p, you can also use the thanks option as well. So thanks for joining, guys. And I'll go over you a quick word with you 5 minutes backstage. And I shall see you guys for the preview tomorrow around about 10 to 7. So you do an hour of that. And thanks for watching, watchers. Thanks for joining, guys. And until then, it's a goodbye for now and take care.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
Well, guys, what do you think, Sam Scone? What do you think?
Yeah, good show, John, isn't it?
I thought this as well, like, so I thought the viewers was a bit of a letdown tonight, like, you know. But
wasn't not many viewers on. There's a lot of games on, John, isn't it, tonight? So people are probably watching.